You can look successful and still be completely stuck. Busy calendar, back to back calls, notifications going off, people praising you for how much you're doing, and yet your net worth has barely moved. And that is the tension that nobody talks about. Hustle culture celebrates busyness. Sustainable wealth rewards leverage, and those are not the same thing. And here's my point of view: if your effort does not increase ownership, assets, or scalable income, it is not building wealth. It's maintaining motion. In case we're meeting for the first time, my name is Carrie Hyam, and I am a co founder of the Feminine Wealth Community. And I am speaking directly to women who are competent, capable, respected, but exhausted. The woman who gets things done, the woman people rely on, the woman who secretly wonders, why does this still feel fragile? If that's you, stay with me. And as you listen, I want you to hold one question in your mind. What in your calendar looks impressive but does not increase your net worth? If you already know the answer, type leverage in the comments. I want to see who is ready for this conversation. And if you are joining me for the first time, let me know if you're new, where you're watching from, and if you are a repeat person, let me know that as well. I would love to come in and celebrate you as we go. And give me a hashtag replay if you happen to be catching the replay, and a hashtag live if you're watching it live. So let's define success. Success is not how full your calendar is. It is not how responsive you are. It is not how many people depend on you. True success in wealth building is this: increasing ownership, increasing your leverage, and increasing assets that pay you without requiring your constant presence. Now, contrast that with the traditional model most high achieving women are operating inside of. The traditional model says prove your value, work harder, be more visible, be available, earn your next level through constant, consistent effort. The wealth model over here, however, says build systems. Let's build assets. Let's protect our energy and let your effort compound. And these two are completely different games. And here are 4 principles that support sustainable wealth. First, leverage over labor. Your time is finite. Systems are scalable. Second, ownership over applause. Equity will always be validation. And third, compounding over constant output. Repetition and structures are what build momentum. And fourth, strategic subtraction over addition. Not everything impressive is profitable. And when you shift your mindset from, oh, I have to do more to make more, to instead, how can I do the least amount and make the most? That's when profit happens. Think about that. Which of those principles do you need most right now? Comment number 1 through 4. And I'm going to come back in and I'm going to read the comments. So I want to talk now about the hidden blocks that keep women looking successful but staying stuck. Block number 1 is productivity addiction. And I have fallen into this category so many times in my life. And the internal dialogue kind of sounds like this: if I'm not busy, I'm falling behind. If I slow down, someone else will outpace me. It shows up as overcommitting, filling white space in your calendar, because if white space is there, you're doing something wrong. It's saying yes to things that drain you but might look good to other people outside of you. And here's the reframe that I want you to have: productivity is not profitability. They're not the same. Motion is not momentum. You are worthy of wealth that does not require exhausting yourself to create it. Block number 2 is external validation dependence. And I see this so much in overachievers. There's so many people that rely on recognition from others in order to climb the ladder. And the internal voice says, I need to be seen in order to be valuable. Like, I need people to acknowledge my work, or like you aren't able to continue working because of it. It shows up as over delivering, over explaining, constantly having to feel like you're proving something to other people. And let me be clear, applause does not build assets. Ownership over your time does. And if you're constantly chasing validation from others, you're going to be stuck when people aren't validating you. Like, why would we tie our success to other people's opinions of us and our work? We don't want to do that. You do not need to be constantly visible to be powerful. Instead, you need to be strategically positioned. And then block number 3 is income attached to time. And the belief is simple: if I'm not working, I'm not earning. And this has been ingrained and instilled in us since a young age, right? Like, we were taught, go to school, get good grades so you can get a good job, trade time for money, and one day you'll be successful. So you build models that require you to be present for every dollar you make: coaching calls, client hours, custom work, constant engagement. But the truth is, if your income stops, when you stop, you just walked into another job. You've built your way into a job, not wealth. And this is not criticism. I don't want you to feel like I'm criticizing you and maybe what you've done up until now. Instead, I want you to think of this as an invitation to elevate the structure. And then block number 4 is the fear of letting go. And that's so hard for some of us that love control and want to control everything. The internal dialogue says, if I step back, things are going to fall apart. If I automate, I will lose the personal touch. It shows up as micromanaging, refusing to delegate, avoiding scalable offers. Now listen, control can feel safe. It feels safe. Leverage feels risky, but control caps you, where leverage frees you. You are capable of building structures that support you without collapsing. Systems are the key to freedom. Block number 5 is identity attachment to being needed. And this one is subtle: being the reliable one, the strong one, the one who handles everything. It feels good. It might feel important, but ask yourself, does being needed increase your net worth, or does it increase your exhaustion? And here's your reflection I want you to have. Which block hit you the hardest? And be honest with yourself, because growth starts with clarity and being willing to actually see where our limiting beliefs that are keeping us stuck. So let me give you a simple structure in moving forward. And I call this the 4 pillars of sustainable wealth. So pillar number 1 is leverage. Leverage means your effort works more than once: a system, a digital asset, a scalable offer, an investment, something that continues to produce without your daily input. Practically, this might look like turning one signature framework into a course instead of repeating it live with one client at a time 50 times. Ask yourself this: what am I doing repeatedly that could become an asset instead of an activity? And then pillar number 2 is ownership. Ownership means equity, control, participation, and upside. This could be ownership in a company. It could be ownership in creating assets or intellectual property. It can be ownership in investments, ownership in affiliate structures that scale beyond your hours, investments into growing an audience that you can then traffic into different offers. And here's the practical question: like, where am I renting my efforts instead of owning the outcome? And think about that. Because there's so many times where we think we might own something, but if we're not there, or if we don't have systems in place to support it, we end up being stuck. Pillar number 3 is strategic focus. Wealth is built by concentration, not fragmentation. If your energy is split across 10 directions, none of them end up compounding properly. Practically, this means choosing one primary wealth vehicle and going deep instead of chasing every shiny new opportunity that looks exciting. Your action here is simple: identify your primary vehicle, that one offer you're going to go all in on for the next year, and protect it. And then pillar number 4 is calendar alignment, because your calendar tells the truth about your priorities. If your schedule is filled with reactive tasks, you're maintaining. If it includes creation, asset building, strategic thinking, you're expanding. Now look at your week. How many hours are spent on asset creation versus maintenance? And be honest with yourself. And then pillar number 5 is energy protection. You cannot build wealth from chronic depletion. Energy is an asset. Attention is an asset. Clarity is an asset. Practically, this means fewer meetings, clear boundaries, structured work blocks, and high quality inputs. And here's your instruction: audit one energy leak this week and eliminate it. This is how wealth starts to shift. So let's get practical for the next couple minutes. First practice: weekly audit. Like, weekly wealth audit is what I like to do. Once a week, review your calendar and ask one question. Did this increase my net worth or just my workload? For example, if you spent 5 hours in meetings that produced no assets, that is a signal, and adjust the following week. The second practice is asset first work blocks. Before checking messages, before responding to requests, spend your first hour building something that's going to scale. That might be writing a sales page, recording a training, designing a system, batch creating content for the week, reviewing investments. Like, protect that hour like it's an investor meeting, because it is. And then third, replace one task with a system. So each week, I like to choose one repetitive task that I'm doing and either automate it, delegate it, or eliminate it altogether. For example, instead of manually onboarding every new client, I built a structured onboarding portal for every person who comes into any of my systems or programs. Small systems will compound over time and it will free your time. And then fourth is revenue structure review. Ask yourself monthly, is my income tied to my time or to my assets? If it's time bound, how can you shift even 10% toward leverage this quarter? Start small, because 10% becomes 20, and then 20 becomes 30, and then 30 becomes 40. This is how transition happens. And here's what I want you to understand. You're not behind. You are not incapable. You are not failing. You may simply be playing the wrong game. Looking successful is easy, but building sustainable wealth requires courage. It requires subtraction of things that are not moving that needle forward. It requires choosing leverage over ego. But you are more than capable of that shift. And imagine a calendar that reflects ownership. Imagine income that continues when you step away. Imagine building once and benefiting repeatedly. This is not a fantasy. It's simple structure. And you are the kind of woman who builds structure. So here's your next step. I want you to comment the word shift below if you're ready to audit your calendar, build leverage instead of noise, and step into creating that wealth. Then share this with another woman who looks successful but might be feeling stuck. We are not here just to be busy. We're here to be wealthy, and wealth is built on leverage. So if you got value from this, give me a hashtag value in the comments. Like I said, share this with anyone you feel might benefit from it, and we will see you on the next episode.